Welcome, everybody. You're listening to Reflect to Redeem, episode 103, where I help you reflect to redeem your life. I'm your host, Mentor Mel. Today's episode will help you realize that your scars do not determine who you are, nor are they excuses for who you will become. Today's episode, I kind of want to touch on something that everyone goes through at any phase of their life. And that's really growing and maturing and realizing that your past is definitely not something that's an excuse. Like whatever you went through the past is not an excuse for the person that you are now. So if something bad has happened to you, you don't let that dictate the person that you are now. I like to think of it like a simple example of welding. Welding. What do I mean by welding? Okay, so let's look at like a welder, what they do. So basically, they melt metals together to form something bigger, correct? And most of the time, welding is not, you're not creating something out of nothing. This is like something that's already been built, but now we're just adding another feature to make it more, or to add another, I don't know, another part to it. So a lot of people have to realize that wherever there was imperfections in your original piece of metal, welding allows you to fix that and add on. So if we look at that as a person may have been damaged, may have gone through something traumatic, some type of, whether it be mental or physical, some type of battle, struggle, or just physicality, something that has like affected you. That is something that we acknowledge. It is a part of us now. That's something that will never go away. We can never erase that memory of whatever may have happened. Now we just have to realize that this has happened to me. What am I going to do about this? Am I going to sit here and continuously let this affect me? Am I going to sit here and be depressed about it? Am I going to sit here and be sad about it for the rest of my life? Will I ever accomplish anything because of what's happened to me in my past? People have got to learn that things happen to so many people. Like the Me Too movement, that's happened to so many people. The numbers are crazy. But one thing that I can commend a lot of people on that have experienced the Me Too movement, or have themselves been Me Too, they didn't let that stop them go to whatever achievement that they have, have made it to. They didn't let that hinder them. Yes, it may have been difficult to get past it or to get through it, but they did not let it stop them. That's the most important thing that people have got to realize, that you can't just let it, you can't sit and harbor on it. You have to sit and do something about it. So when I think of welding is something, this metal may have broken in half, but we're now able to weld it back together to put it to its original form. Or we can weld something else to it to now make something even greater. So that's the person. That's the person that's now becoming something greater. That's the person that has grown and shown the world that this instance will not stop me. So, little example. It's a literal example. It's not even like a mental growth. It's a physical thing that's happened to me. So I, as a kid, had a basketball hoop in the backyard, like one of those metal basketball hoops where you put water in it to let it balance off the amount of water that you put in it. So just over time, with it being outside, rusting, water, got on the rim, and over time where it connects to the backboard, that metal piece kind of it it rusted away, and it caused the hoop to snap off. So my dad, being the awesome person that he is, we're not gonna buy a whole new basketball court because honestly, it's a waste if we only have one thing that's wrong with it. So when it comes to a person that went through this thing, this instance, we're not gonna throw the whole person away because this one instance happened, right? Same thing goes with the basketball hoop. This is how I know he still had faith in this basketball hoop to take me where I needed to go. He took the rim with the metal piece that snapped off, took it off the back, disconnected from the backboard, took it to work, and had a coworker weld it together, weld the hoop back together, so then we can put it back on the backboard and I can continue playing basketball. That is something where you are literally, rust created the scar on the rim, caused it to fall off, and what you're thinking is you can't use it anymore. I'll just have to get a new one, or that's it for basketball. Like, all of these things that you see. But what also is working is, I see an issue here. How am I going to fix it? That is the mindset that you need to have, where you first acknowledge something that has been detrimental to you in your past and how you're letting it affect your present and your future. That's the stuff that you have got to evolve and you have to grow from. You have to do something about it. So when he took this rim to his coworker to weld it back together, he's doing the work to get it back to functioning order. And when it comes back, it is now able to be put back on the backboard and be able to be used as its original purpose, which is a basketball rim. So, bad things that happen to you it doesn't dictate who you are. Bad things that happen to you should actually make you a stronger person, make you resilient. They make you know that if I went through this, I could go through anything. I always say bad things form a great person. Because if you meet a person that never experienced anything, they're probably a little cocky. They're just not humble. They're not grounded. They haven't been through anything. There's like nothing. Everything's been easy for them. Who wants to be around a person like that? I like people that have actually been through something and have showed that they are something. That's the determined people. That's the people I like to surround myself with. Determination is a huge thing. Everybody wants to be a determined person, but not everybody can achieve it because for some reason they sit behind excuses and, they just let it be. They don't go after it. So welding something back together is literally the scars that are on your body. Scars make us all. We all have a form of a scar, whether it's mental, whether it's physical. There's a scar somewhere on us. How we handle those scars are what really determines where we are or who we are and how we will then continue on in this journey that's our life. Thanks for listening, guys. I urge you all to really take a step back and evaluate some of your responses to scenarios. Are these responses because of your past? Are these scars that you have not let heal? The time for growth is now. Release those past mistakes or traumatic experiences. Evolving is not easy, but it is necessary. Remember, it all starts and ends with Y, O, and U. Until we meet again, this is Melanie McFadden, aka Mentor Mel, signing off.